Hey everybody, this is Dominique with Black Girl Reviews, and today I'm coming back with another review on Real Housewives of Atlanta, Season 15, Episode 5, Drama for Your Mama. All right, this is going to be a short review, so I'm going to just get right into it because it wasn't a lot going on. It was the trip, and then they came back. So let's get right into it. When they first opened up, it was all the ladies pretty much still at Kenya's door, banging hard, mostly Marlo, but there were other ladies banging on her door. I know Sonya knocked, I know Sheree knocked, and kind of kicked and ran, thought it was funny. And it wasn't funny, like, Sheree, come on, girl. You're a grandmother. Not that that means anything because grandmothers are not defined by their age, but you should be more mature and you should be more of a leader of the show. You've been on the show for how long, and you're pretty much the oldest. Honestly, I don't even want to put you in that category, but you're older than all the other women, all the new women. So you should be more of a leader. When Marlo said, "Let's go upstairs and let's see," well, the whole thing was Marlo felt like it was more to this story. Why did Kenya just leave us, and where are we going tomorrow? It gotta be more to the story. She's keeping a secret. Let's go find out what that secret is. And everybody was like, okay, let's go find out what secret Kenya is hiding in her back pocket. And they all follow her upstairs to bang on Kenya's door. And then once Kenya comes out and screams at them and says, like, can y'all stop? Like, my daughter's in the room. Are y'all crazy? Marlo's like, I don't care. I don't care. She needs to get up out of there. Like, she needs to come on and send her daughter to another room. Like, I don't care. And that's a shame, Marlo. Like, why do you not care that she has her daughter in her room and you're kicking the door down? And then Kenya said she's gonna call the police on them, and then that's when they all started to leave the area. And then Marlo was like, "Well, y'all can stay right here," telling all of the ladies, "Y'all can stay right here because I ain't that's she's rude. Kenya's rude. Now it's all Kenya's fault. Kenya's rude and she don't know how to talk to people, and I don't know who she thinks she talking to. She rude. So I'm headed downstairs. I'm about to go get me something to eat. Y'all can stay right here." And Monyetta was the only one that felt offended. Like, girl, who are you talking to? I'm a grown woman. Like, I don't need your permission to stay here or go somewhere. So then Marlo and Monyetta started going back and forth about nonsense. Honestly, I don't know what they were talking about. They were just going back and forth in the elevator headed downstairs. So they get downstairs to the lobby and they go out the doors that lead into the lobby, and Marlo opens the door and she clearly grabs the door and tries to close it behind her to hit Monyetta. It didn't swing as hard as she thought it was because it has like a little, you know, the little catcher thing at the top. I don't know what this I don't know what it's called, but y'all know what I'm talking about. So it didn't swing hard enough to hit Monyetta, but Monyetta had to put her hand out to stop it. As soon as Monyetta walked behind, Marlo was trying to tell her, like, why did you try to throw the door? And here comes Sheree, Captain Saver, and was just like, oh, no, 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 oh no, the door didn't no, she didn't try to close the door, even though they all was behind Monyetta. They all was behind Monyetta, but somehow they know what Marlo was doing ahead of them outside the door because the door was closing. They trying to make it seem like Marlo didn't try to close the door. The door is heavy and it closes on its own. Marlo didn't do that. So everybody was just like, so Marlo pretty much makes a scene, starts screaming, and then she runs out the front door of the lobby and leaves all the girls in there to talk to Monyetta, and she's outside talking to producers somehow. Look at them. All they gotta talk about is me. All they want to talk about is me. Look at them. Look at me. I'm the topic of conversation. Okay, Marlo. Congratulations. You're finally the topic of conversation. Inside is Sonya, Sheree, and Monyetta. They are still in the lobby, and Courtney, Miss Lapdog, following Marlo outside, trying to see what's going on. Like, are you okay? What's going on? Like, are you alright? Like, let me kiss you. And then Monyetta calls Kenya to tell her, like, that wasn't me knocking on your door. I'm done with Marlo. Like, she really lost it. Like, she's done. Like, And Kenya was just like, I am like completely over this situation. Like y'all are tripping. Like honestly, I just want my core group of friends to stay. And Sonia and Sheree overheard the conversation, and then Sonia tried to speak and try to say something, and it was like, "What? What do you mean by that, Kenya? Like, we just feel like something's going on, and you something that you're not telling us." And Kenya was like, "Girl, Sonia, just pack your bags and leave, and don't come back. Don't even come back tomorrow, because Sonia was supposed to leave that morning or that night to head back to Atlanta, so she has something to do that morning, and then we're gonna head back to Birmingham for a couple of hours to see Kenya performing, and then what, head back to Atlanta. Like that was a dumb. I would have came back anyway, and I wouldn't have left honestly. But like I said, Sonya needs camera time to pay, her family bills. They depend on her, so get to work, Sonya. So Sonya was like, "Oh, fine, bet, I'm gone, I'm out of here." Meanwhile, Marlo's still yelling outside on the street, outside the lobby. So Sonya gets up and heads to her room to go pack her stuff. And then, Monyetta and Sheree still on the phone. And Sheree gets the phone and was just like, "Look, Kenya, we all feel like something else is happening that you're not telling us about. Like, why are we in Birmingham, Alabama? Like, you still haven't told us what we're doing here. It can't be just for a game. Like, are you telling me like we literally just came out here for just a game?" And Kenya was just like, "Look, I was just trying to surprise y'all. It was a big thing. I didn't know y'all was gonna feel some type of way that I'm not telling y'all. I just wanted y'all to be surprised, but I'm supposed to be performing with the band during halftime." And then Sheree was like, "Oh, okay. See, we really didn't know what was going on, so we just wanted to know. That's all it was. We just wanted to know." Marlo decides to come back inside because she saw that Sonya was, gone from the area, and she was just like talking, speaking shade, throwing shade out to Monyetta, still acting belligerent. And then Sonya comes back downstairs with her stuff, and then Marlo was like, "Where you going?" Sonya was like, "I'm not staying when someone wants me to leave. Like, I was, Kenya made it a point to point out that I wasn't around on our last trip to Jamaica, and that I had to be at her beck and call. But when I asked her what's going on and why are we at this trip, she's telling me I can leave and don't come back. So that's fine. Bye. I'm leaving and I'm not coming back." Okay, Sonya, we're not gonna miss you, girl. You are not making a point by leaving, because we honestly, once you left, honestly, no one was like, "Dang, we miss Sonya, man. Only if she would have just stayed a couple more hours." No, they didn't. They didn't say that. So then the girls pretty much dispersed, went back to their rooms, and it was over for that scene. Honestly, it was just chaos and confusion. Just stupid. Next, we have a short scene with Drew, and she's just leaving the urgent care, saying that she's feeling sick, but she's getting better. She's been taking her medicine and she's just getting better. And that's pretty much it. Next, we have Candy and Todd, and they are having a meeting about the movie that Todd is producing and possibly creating. And he wants to go over a few details with her, and he was making a couple of jokes. And he was talking about, he made a poster board showing like the movie cover, and he was just talking about different details. Meanwhile, Candy's on her phone, she's texting and answering a few messages and trying to get her stuff in order. And he was like, "Look, like, when I'm doing stuff for you, I'm focused. I'm like zoned in. I'm locked in. I'm like listening, trying to figure out what I need to do. I'm taking it seriously. But you seem like you're not taking what I'm doing seriously, and you're not zoned in, and you're not focused." And she was like, "I'm sorry, Todd, but I do have a lot going on. I'm getting like she literally left there and headed to the airport to go to the Ebony event that she was getting awarded at." So she was just like, "Look, I have a lot going on." She even said earlier in the scene that because he made a joke saying that he was gonna make her audition for a role on his movie, and she's like, "Please, I got 4 different movies that's trying to pitch to me to come work on there, and I don't have to audition for none of them." Okay, Candy, let them know. I'm not the auditioning type, and if you want me to be a part of it, I don't audition, boo. Because if you want me to audition, it's okay. I got other movies that I can go right ahead and start working because they don't want me to audition. I love Candy. Candy stay booked and busy. All right. And that was pretty much that scene. Let's move. So the next morning, we have all the ladies getting ready. They're packing up. They're, getting ready for the day, pretty much, getting dressed and everything. Courtney calls Drew to fill her in on what happened the night before and how Marlo acted and blah blah blah, trying to get a screen time, but they really cut that short. Then Marlo calls her coach, her life coach, who's not helping her, by the way. She's not paying attention. She's using this poor lady for camera time to make it seem like she's involving. And she's telling her, I don't know what it is about Kenya. She really just like bothers me. She really just triggers me. And I forgot to say this earlier. She was really triggered that Kenya decided to go back to her room and go to bed at 9 o'clock. Like, why are you that much triggered over someone who you don't even fool with like that? You don't hang out with Kenya. You don't communicate with Kenya. She also texted Kenya that night that Kenya was being rude and you need help and blah blah blah. Like, girl, what? She needs help because she wanted to go to bed and you decided to come and interrupt her peace and quiet, and you decided to bang on her door and she didn't like it, so she went off of you, so now she needs help. So she's talking to her therapist, her life coach, the next day, and it's just like, I don't know what it is about Kenya, like, and she just bothers me. And then the life coach gives her some information that she's not going to use, and she's probably just not even paying attention to what she's saying. She was just doing that for the scene, so the cameraman can have something to film while she's in there. Meanwhile, Kenya is in her bed and she's not feeling good. She's feeling real sick, real dizzy, real achy. Her body aches in pain. And so she tells production she can't film, but somebody pulls out a phone, a camera phone, and records her anyway. She calls 911, and then the EMT comes. The EMT comes to her room, banging on her door. That alerts Sheree. She's trying to figure out what's going on. So nosy. She nosy. She's sticking her head out the door like, oh, what's going on? I hear a lot of the commotion. So she tries to get the tea. She gets the tea. She runs back to her room to finish getting her glam on in Birmingham, Alabama. She needed a whole glam team for Birmingham, Alabama. She goes back to her room to get her glam on. The first person she calls is Marlo. She calls Marlo. Marlo over there fake like she's saying a prayer. She's reading a scripture. And she's telling Sheree trying to have like a short, oh, how are you feeling type thing on the phone with Marlo. And Marlo's like, I'm feeling all right. I just got to watch what the devil tried to trick me and try to get me to do. Oh, now it's the devil's fault. Well, it might be the devil's fault. Yeah. But it's still, you don't take accountability for your own actions, Marlo. It's always somebody else's fault. It's either Candy fault, Kenya fault, or the devil's fault. Really, it's not your fault that you overreacted to a situation that didn't need to be taken to that level. No, okay, it's the devil's fault. Shame on you, devil. Well, after they get that short little, quick little, oh, it's the devil fault, and I need to go with the devil, or the devil treating me, try to get me out of character. And Sheree was like, okay, cool. Well, I need you to come to my room. I have something quick to tell you. Well, I gotta give you an update. So she calls all the ladies to her room, including Monyetta and Courtney, because that's the only people that left. Sonia has already left the building. And she tells them that, she heard the EMT out in Kenya's room and they took her to the hospital. And everybody was like, oh, what? oh my God, she's in the hospital? Yeah, yeah. Let's FaceTime her. So they FaceTime her. She looking sick. And then they were just like, all right, well, I hope you get better. And then Monyetta cries and says that she just lost her mother in July. And this is very triggering her. And then here come Marlo. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, this is hurting my heart. Oh, my heart is hurting for Kenya right now. I did a lot of stuff last night. I can't even remember what I did, but right now I feel like we can move past this because this right here is even crazier than anything I can imagine. And they were like, well, maybe we should say a prayer. And they just, Marlo, oh Lord, help her. God, come. I would not want Marlo praying for me because I don't honestly like. People be like, oh, I'm gonna pray for you, girl. Who are you praying to? Because everybody don't pray to the same thing. Like people worship the devil, people pray to the devil, and people give thanks to the devil. So I don't want you to do nothing. Like she said, they was like, "Oh, you want us to come and visit?" She was like, "No, no, no, thank you. Don't come, don't come." And I don't blame her. So then Marlo was just like, oh, I don't know. After the fake prayer, she tells Monyetta she doesn't know what happened last night, but hopefully we can move forward. And Monyetta was like, girl, you tried to close the door in my face. And Marlo was like, what? I did? I don't even remember. I don't even remember banging on Kenya's door last night. Girl, please. And here comes Sheree. Oh, just to let you know, guys, I just wanted to let you know that the doors do close on their own. It is a heavy door. The door was just closing on its own. Okay. All right, Sheree. Producers must have said, say Marlo, say that the door got heavy. Say something to keep Marlo in good graces so the fans won't hate her. Too late. Moving on. Okay, so after, they pray and they get dressed and pack up their things since they're not going to the game anymore because Kenya is sick. They all get ready downstairs in the lobby to leave and they talk about, how this trip was crazy and how they hope they don't bring the same energy to Atlanta. And Monyetta did the dance that Kenya was supposed to do, and Marlo gave Monyetta her props. She was like, if one thing she can't do, one thing she can do, she can dance, and I can't take that from her. And that was real, even though I don't like Marlo, so I don't really care. She was just some, I don't know. Moving on. Next, it was a quick scene back in Atlanta with Sonia and Courtney. Sonia feels like Kenya was treating her badly and feels like maybe Kenya is jealous that she is now getting close to Marlo. And that was it. And I don't have nothing else to say about Sonia. Like, girl, Kenya is jealous that you are getting close to Marlo. Okay. Kenya really don't even care about you. That's why she told you to go home and don't come back. Because honestly, she don't care. Okay. Moving on. The next scene, Sheree fake self goes to check on Kenya at her house to see if she was okay. She brought her some few things, and Kenya, thinks that Sheree is her good friend. And they discuss the trip and discuss like how Kenya is sad that she didn't get to perform with the band on in halftime. They discuss Marlo and Marlo. Sheree feels like Marlo is just, yearning for Kenya's approval and attention. And Kenya was like, no, she's yearning for negative attention from me. And that's it. Like, that's all she wants is negative. She wants a negative reaction from Kenya. She never wants a positive. A positive, she feels like Kenya's being fake. If it's negative, then Kenya's being rude. Like, girl, I wouldn't pay Marlo no mind, but we get to see Brooklyn and she's karate chopping the air, looking cute, and I just love that scene, and that's all I care about that scene, honestly. Moving Next on. Scene we have Candy with Mama Joy. They finally have a sit down after BravoCon. They haven't spoke since then, and they just got back to speaking terms. And she was telling Mama Joyce that when they asked you a question about Todd and they said say something positive, why you just couldn't say something positive? Why did you have to take it to a negative route? And Mama Joyce was like, well, I really don't know Todd. Every time I come over here, Todd is in another room, sleep, or in another room, trying not to be bothered, or not even here. I really don't even get to see him, don't get to talk to him. I don't know him like that. And Candy said, well, he's in another room and he's avoiding you because you always saying something negative about him that he feels disrespected about. Like he's avoiding your presence. And she was so like, Mama Joyce said, oh yeah, I mean, don't you think I can feel that negative energy of him not wanting to be around me and avoiding me? And she was like, well, the negative, Candy said, well, the negative energy is coming from you. And Mama Joyce feels like, well, when I met Todd, Todd was so humble and so nice and he was cool, you know. But now he's like George Jefferson. I guess he moving on up, dressing better, I guess. Not humble, I guess. Like he got more money now. And Candy was like, "Girl, stop! Please stop that! Don't even try it. Like, don't you love your grandchildren?" And she was like, "Yeah, I love my grandchildren." Mama just said, "I love my grandchildren." And Candy was like, "Well, how do you think Ace will feel when he gets older and he sees that you keep talking bad about his daddy?" And so Mama Joyce was like, "Well, I feel like a 6-year old at his age should be taking out the trash." Okay. And that's what Todd should be teaching him at that age. And Candy was just like, whoa, 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 whoa. What are you talking about? Like, come on. Like, don't be trying to tell me what my husband should be doing in my marriage. Don't be trying to tell me that. Like, we've been together for 9 years. Like, we're coming up on our 9-year anniversary. Like, this repeating of your actions is getting old. Like, it's getting tiring. And she was like, Mama Joseph was like, well, if you like your man going to the strip club and not taking the trash out. And Kenny was like, what the strip club got to do with anything? Like, I go to the strip club. I don't see nothing wrong with going to the strip club. So Mama Joseph was like, well, if you like it, I love it. And so Candy was just like, what do you and your man like to do for fun? What do y'all like to do? And Mama just like, well, I don't have one just yet. And she was, and Kenny was like, exactly. How about you leave me and my husband alone? And when you get one, you can worry about yours. Don't be trying to tell me how to act in my marriage when you don't even have a marriage. I said, oh, Kenzie, shut it down, shut it down, shut it down. I was like, okay, Candy, let her know. All right, Mama Joyce, when you get a man, worry about what he do in your relationship. Don't worry about what my man is doing in my relationship. She said maybe we can just go to counseling and have a therapist and speak to a therapist and talk this out. And Mama Joyce agreed, and Candy's happy about that step forward in their mother-daughter relationship. All right. That's all that pretty much happened. Mama Joyce had a new wig. She was giving Bob, B.O.B. said call you Bob. Okay. All right. All right. Moving on. All right. In the last scene, we have Kenya, Sheree, and Drew. They meet up to get IV drips because they all three of them was going through something. Sheree having her fibroids, and Drew and Kenya had the flu. You know, they had the C-19. Okay. So they meet up and, right away, Sheree didn't want to give Drew a hug. And Drew was like, oh, we ain't hugging? We ain't there? All right, high five. What's the issue? And then Sheree was like, oh, I have an issue. Let me tell you. How you go on this podcast and say that everything that you received at the reunion by Sheree, I took it back, and then here come Drew. Well, I didn't say everything, and of course, production pulls the recording back, and she says everything was taken, and Sheree was like, "Yeah, you said everything. I heard it. I heard it with my own ears." And here come Drew. Okay, well, really, I was feeling some type of way because I wanted the bag, the purse that you had on stage. I really wanted that She by Sheree purse, but you said that we couldn't have it. And I felt like, oh, that's the one thing I really wanted, and I couldn't have it. But, I didn't mean to shade you and say everything. It really wasn't everything. And then they was like, oh, okay, well, I didn't like that. I thought we were actually trying to build a friendship, and Drew was like, "No, for real, I really am trying to build a friendship." You know, my conversation I had with you over the phone was after that podcast. It just came out later, and I really do mean what I said about trying to move forward with you. And so they decided to let that go. Then they start bringing up the fact that Marlo attacked Drew, and Drew finally got to say her side to Sheree. Of course, Sheree just gonna bring it back to Marlo. She don't care. She don't care who. She's on Marlo's side. Period. So I don't even know why Drew is explaining this to Sheree, because Sheree was like, "Oh, I didn't hear that part of the story. Oh, I didn't hear that part of the story." And then Kenya talked about how Marlo tried to kick down her door in Birmingham and how that trip went. And then pretty much it went off. It's gonna be a crazy. Oh, Drew brought up the fact that Courtney is inviting all of the girls to like laser tag team building event, and that's where it's gonna go down. Candy was like, "I'm a head, but everybody." Candy want a head choke. I'm gonna choke out or something crazy. Candy. Don't play with Candy, okay? She is gangster. All right. She's tiny, but I feel like she really can fight, but she just don't fight because she got too much money. And that's all I feel like that's all Marlo waiting for. Just somebody to put a hand on her so she can sue them so she can get some money. Okay, to pay that. Well, to pay some bills. I don't know what bills she paid because allegedly she get her bills paid by men, but I don't know about Marlo and what's going on with her because she don't tell us nothing. We don't know nothing about Marlo. I like to repeat that again. We do not know anything about Marlo. So, well, that's all I have for this episode. I hope it's a short episode, a short review because there really wasn't much going on. But I'm gonna see it once I start editing this video to see how long this video really is. Cause I'll be like, oh, this will be a short video, and then I edit it, it's like 40 minutes. So, but I want to thank everybody for coming to listen to my review, listen and watch my review on Real Housewives of Atlanta, and I will rate this episode probably like a C. It wasn't failing because I like the Mama Joyce conversation. Mama Joyce and Candy really saved this episode, honestly, because that was a lot of Marlo in this episode, and I hated it. I really did hate it. And it's a lot of going on behind the scenes saying that they want Marlo fired. I might do a little, quick little video. Should Marlo be fired or should she not? I might do that. That might be cute. Because I'm getting tired of Marlo. But I want to know if she got fans out there. Where's her fans? Comment below if you a Marlo fan. Comment below. All right, y'all. I'm gonna see y'all in the next one. Please like, subscribe, and share and comment. Please comment about what y'all feel about Real Housewives in the state that it's in right now. Do you feel like they need to recast? Are you liking what's going on? It's only 5 episodes so far. So I'm gonna wait till next week episode to see if it lives up to the hype that they try to portray it to be with the green editing and oh it look crazy, but that could be like 5 minutes. I wouldn't be surprised if that's like a be continued at the end of the episode, honestly. I wouldn't be surprised. But all right, y'all, let me go ahead and end off this video. I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye.